All right. What we have here.
Collapse. Several
This is
executives
anonymous.
sold
Hold
off
on. This is
large.
anonymous official. A real warning for America. You might want to watch this video. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. This is demonetized. Um, just gonna play a little bit. I'm not gonna play this in entirety. If you want to watch it, I would suggest you go over to anonymous official, subscribe or not. It's had over 157,000 views a month ago. Up to within the last month. Um, I just want to see what y'all's take is on what everything is happening. Okay, so if it comes in, just watch it and let's see what you think. All right, so I'm gonna play about 15 minutes of it.
Shares of stock, while mainstream media tells its audience to invest in them. On March 9th, the day before the collapse, Israel's two largest banks pulled up to $1 billion out of SVB, while Peter Thiel's Founders Fund withdrew millions and advised their clients to do the same. The next day, there was a run on the bank, and Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. Is this evidence of a controlled demolition or a hasty one? The day before the collapse, a U.S. judge ordered J.P. Morgan Chase to turn over documents in a lawsuit accusing them of aiding in Jeffrey Epstein's operation. The team behind this lawsuit was the same team who successfully exposed the involvement of Deutsche Bank, and they subpoenaed several other banks they believe were involved, including Silicon Valley Bank and Bank Leumi, the Israeli bank that drained $1 billion out of SVB the day before it collapsed. Whatever the reason, the U.S. government's response threatens to collapse the world economy. The FDIC insures up to $250,000 for each depositor, but now they're going to cover all depositor losses. And they don't have enough to cover the $175 billion of SVB losses, let alone the trillions of dollars to be lost on the near horizon as banks across the world begin to break. The systemic risk among GSIBs, global systemically important banks, is that they are so deeply connected that when one falls, they will all follow. Much of the world's economy is already collapsing due to the actions of the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve banking system. And much of the world has been preparing for the end of the U.S. dollar as a world reserve currency. After all the smaller banks die, the people will be left with the central bank, and their solution is the CBDC. CBDC stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. With CBDC, there are no more options. Everyone's account is run directly through the central bank system.
As the financial system gets more controlling and more invasive, it's a little bit like bringing up a corral around us. And CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and vaccine passports or digital IDs are sort of the last shutting of the gate. It's hard for many people to imagine the risks here because we're so used to living with financial transaction freedom, and we don't understand that when this gate closes on us, we literally will be sitting in a system where the central banks believe that our assets belong to them, and they can dictate where we can spend money and what we can spend money on. If you don't behave, you can have your money turned off.
There are 12 Federal Reserve banks, which are located in cities being considered for the 15-minute city model of the World Economic Forum. This is where it's all headed, and there isn't much pushback in the federal government. Utah Senator Mike Lee introduced the No CBDC Act last September, which will likely go nowhere. But we, the people, have much more sway over our local governments. An Oklahoma House committee unanimously passed a bill to protect Oklahomans from being forced to adopt a CBDC. It's time for we the people to unite with our neighbors and local communities and prepare to liberate ourselves from the central bank system. Recall our corrupt county officials and start looking into local barter and trade systems because central bank digital currency is
Now we're still under, you and I, our doctrinalists, are still actually under the barter and trade system, but because of our dumb mamas, those of us born in the 60s, all right, our dumb mamas and papas, they took them damn Social Security cards, which are pure lies. That's why I explained the Wizard of Oz. And this is facts. No fact checking. Nobody can denounce this. I actually did further study pull up documents, government documents, and all that. I have it all. But the thing is, what matters to me, because I don't care about what they're doing. What I care about is the fact that you know who you are. That's why I say y'all need to get the hell up and gone. But hey, just listen.
At us quickly, and it equals financial enslavement.
So how does facial recognition work, right? When you pick up many of the smartphones today have a 3D camera in the front. And what happens is that 3D camera has a little bit, a laser or an LED invisible projector that projects a dot pattern on your face or some sort of, other pattern.
Y'all see that little green or red dot or orange dot you got on your phone? That's what it's doing through the camera.
And then that pattern gets uniquely distorted for every person's face. And then there's an invisible light camera that picks up that distortion and then is able to identify, key points on your face and uniquely identify that, this is Aman or this is Maria. So that's how facial recognition works. And it's been sold to us as a benefit because it's very convenient. I don't have to punch in a 4 or 6 digit code into my phone every time I want to use it, right?
Yes.
So that's how facial recognition was introduced to the world.
And many of these so-called technological advancements have been introduced under the guise of convenience, but what they're actually leading to is, as you said, a digital prison.
That's right. And so they give us the carrots, right? If you go back 20, 25 years, consumer electronics, computers, cell phones, and other gadgets, video games, they're all kind of subsidized, very low cost so that they are able to permeate every corner of society. So like even, people who are not very well off, they have all these gadgets. So they're sold to us as the carrots. And it's for convenience and it's also for safety and security, right? And it's to catch the bad guys. And, as a society, we tend to kind of accept all the carrots. But by the end of the presentation or even halfway through it, you'll see how the sticks are coming if we don't watch out. And they've already started and most people are, they don't know what's coming.
Indeed.
So if you go to China, Big Brother has already met big data, right? They already have facial recognition, which is connected to social credit scoring, and that directly lends itself to a control system. And they've already announced it in China for many years. I was in Shenzhen, China in 2019, 3 years ago for an optical conference. And every corner you go, intersections, streets, buildings, indoors, outdoors are just littered with cameras. And there are screens everywhere, and they are telling you that we are watching you. And we are watching you, and you will be okay with us watching you all the time. And so people have become very compliant in China, right? And so you can then control the social credit system. It's like a feedback system on how people behave. And this is how compliance has been achieved in China. Now, they're already doing this in the Western countries. It's just that they haven't told us yet. So our social scoring has already started. Our carbon tracking has already started. I was in India recently, and when I got my receipt from United Airlines, it had a carbon footprint of 3.3 tons each way on the receipt. So
yes, the conditioning's already started, and we're talking here in Australia about banks starting to notify you about your carbon footprint on your transactions. So that conditioning, you're absolutely right. We're already in that system.
That's right. Right. So but the narrative in the Western media is that, privacy and freedom have gone in China, right? And the social credit system is a control system in China. And implicitly, we in the West are free. But that's really not the case. But the narrative is there, and it gives people the illusion that all the surveillance being put up in our cities and our towns in the Western countries is for security and safety of the people. But what is not said is that per capita cameras in America are greater than in China. We have 50 million tethered surveillance cameras in the United States connected to the internet and therefore to AI. And by 2025, $2 trillion would have been spent on cameras and the surveillance infrastructure of smart cities, right? London is ranked number 3 in the world in terms of number of cameras per 1,000 people, right? So the infrastructure is in place and is expanding. So if people, look up and they keep their, wits about them and go out in your towns and cities, you'll see more and more surveillance infrastructure being set up. And it'll all be sold on the pretext of safety and security of the people.
I didn't
So
know London
when
was ranked number 3. That's very interesting.
That's right. And New Delhi, India is ranked number 1 in terms of cameras per square mile.
Wow.
So there are well over 500,000 cameras in the city of Delhi. So just think about that. So while the world was sleeping, when COVID was announced and people were locked down and the fear porn was, blaring in every, television set, and people were quarantining, they were installing cameras and surveillance infrastructure. A report that came out earlier this year, by end of 2022, there will be 1 billion surveillance cameras tethered and connected to the internet in the world. And if you take mobile cameras and other cameras, that's greater than 20 billion data collection cameras in the world. So that is the kind of surveillance that is being, unrolled onto the world. And this is by the end of 2022. So these are not for, us. This is not just to catch the bad guys. This is much worse than surveillance. This is data collection. That means everything you do will be logged and tracked and analyzed, and then it'll be used as a feedback loop to change your behavior and compliance.
And this is
so think about that.
Being fed back to an AI machine that's already been programmed, as you said, with that feedback loop to change your behavior. So it is already, everything's already been programmed into this AI to be able to achieve that.
It's been programmed and continually being improved.
Yes.
So basically what we have is, eyes in the sky and eyes everywhere. Eventually, it's already started, but it's going to be permanent once they will be tracking your eye movements continuously when you're in front of a cell phone or you're in front of a computer. They already do that, many apps, but that's going to become prevalent. Right? So in the old days, what was surveillance? A bunch of cameras around the city, and there'd be people sitting and watching these LCD screens or LED screens for, thieves and all. And so human eyeballs are gone. Now, no humans are necessary. All the monitoring will be done by smart artificial intelligence security guards that are watching us at every moment. And so you're being, literally, they're listening in, they're watching, they're analyzing, they're logging, they're learning, and then it repeats the cycle.
I have a question, Aman. So, you mentioned sort of 20 billion devices around the world. Are all of these devices also listening?
If they have a microphone, chances are they are listening. Like your cell phone is listening.
Of course.
Like this Zoom call is not only listening, it's recording, analyzing our discussion. And we are being scored by AI as we speak. And since I'm talking to you and you're talking to me, our social credit score is being reduced in real time as we speak. So when are we not alone? Pretty much never, right? And if you have devices in your house, such as Ring cameras and all, those are all tracking devices. But let me introduce to you a term called the panopticon, which is a kind of a circular prison. And this is a picture from Rhode Island, one of the states in the United States of America, back from the late 20s. And this is a circular prison where the guards are in the middle and they can watch pretty much all the activity going on in each prison. So all the prisoners know that the guards can watch them at any time. Where we are living is in a digital panopticon, right? And instead of there being security guards, there's computer vision, cameras with computer vision and artificial intelligence. So everyone is being monitored everywhere all the time. And so this has been put in place already. And a few years ago, I was, at a venture capital summit in New York City, and this term was introduced called the Internet of Eyes. And I found it kind of not creepy, but I was kind of curious as to why this term was there. But literally now everything is falling in place. It's the Internet of Eyes. There are cameras everywhere at intersections. All your automobiles are spy vehicles. They have cameras inside and outside. Tomorrow, by 2025, there'll be an average of at least 16 cameras in every new vehicle. And once you have autonomous driving vehicles, there'll be radar LiDAR as well as cameras, and some might even have sonars. They have cameras in space looking down at the earth, counting trees, and mapping digital IDs to trees. They have cameras in drones, license plate readers, cameras inside your car, cameras in bus stations, airports. So you're being tracked everywhere.
Did you
So
just
this
say?
is the Internet of Eyes.
Did you just say mapping digital IDs to trees?
Yeah, every tree and plant, all of nature is going to be mapped digitally, and eventually we'll be getting pushed into the metaverse.
Well,
And digital IDs with trees are going to be, sorry?
Well, this is fascinating to me, because what they're doing, Aman, is they're currently shifting, all humanitarian causes towards climate change and looking after what they call Mother Earth, according to Nancy Pelosi, and they're meeting this month for an interfaith meeting on Mount Sinai, where they're announcing their new climate 10 commandments. It's unbelievable what these people are doing. And so
That's right.
that would mean if they are digitally mapping every tree, every plant, then that would also be able to impact your score should you interact with one of these trees or plants or harm them or, emit too much carbon.
It's about 15 minutes, and that's more than enough. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and flip this around. Okay. As you can see, I put it sideways. I'm going to bring it all the way down. You can see the room in the background. You see them. I don't like showing my guns and my clothes that I'm going to be wearing, but you might be able to see them in the shade there. Yeah, I was up there watching my movies, and I was like, let me go and see what Mr. Anonymous was talking about today. I said, because I was setting myself up to get ready to read, and I just put a load of laundry in, and I was like, you know what? Because I don't, it's monetized. It's theirs, regardless of the fact that I comment and on some of that stuff. But I thought it'd be pretty interesting. Because I was laying up there watching my movies. I was like, I was ready to doze off. I was like, God dang it, I'm about to go to sleep. Well deserved, too. And I'd say, if you can get a nap 45 minutes an hour, a couple times, get it. It's better for you. So you don't have the fog. Sharpshooters in the Army and the Marine Corps, the Special Force guys did it too. They did tests where they got 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and their accuracy was 90 to 100%. At 6 to 7 hours, it was down about 70%. At 4 or 5 hours, it was down there between 40 and nothing. You know what I'm saying? Hit and miss. So right now, it's recording. It's digitalized. It's mapping. They're taking notes. They're making notes. They're listening to what we talk about. They need to get up off my face, because I don't give a damn about what they're doing. Because I don't give I say it right here and now. Ain't partaking in it. I mean, with all these dumbasses that don't want to pay attention and how I feel about them, the real feeling, I can switch up. And you don't want me on the opposite side. Trust me. Because I'll taunt you. I was trying to tell you. Well, this is the part that I'm going to play. Now, how you feel? Because you want to be hard-headed. Some of y'all might say, that's weak. No. See, y'all still holding on to religious ideologies and all this other stuff. I'm attempting to get y'all to move beyond that. And I know you're having a hard time because you want to be complicit with the enemy's narrative. It's one thing to be complicit, another thing to know. I just wanted to share that. It's all over the news. It's everywhere. Go pick up Forbes magazine and go grab some. I know you don't buy them. Just go and look. Rhonda was showing y'all these cameras that are popping up. In my travels, I've seen cactuses that weren't cactuses. We got more cameras and surveillance than China. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go and black out all my cameras on my truck. Because I don't need them to back up and park and this, that, and the other. I don't need them at all. Oh, that's about ready. Clothes about ready. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. Y'all can go over there to Anonymous Official. You can subscribe or not subscribe, doesn't matter. I get pretty good information from there. I like to fact check stuff, but I don't watch all of their videos. Your credit score watching me right now going down. That whatever they're talking about. But like I said, you are the change. We're not at the last minute, but damn it, we are very close. You see what I'm saying? I just want you to know that. And I felt like at this moment, that's very important. You know? I'm still seeing young, dumb Negroes in Louisiana Shreveport rapping about 223, body to bag, and all this other violent stuff. Stupidity is, but you think they're going to come over here and see this? No, they're going to hide. They're going to make sure that this doesn't make it there. And you're not going to share it for people to pay attention so that way they'll do different. You see what I'm saying? You have many different people, musicians and everything, who are waking up. And they say they know that their music has destroyed the whole generation, but they don't have to stay destroyed. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this. I'm going to get some shout out first, and I'm going to shut this down. For those who just came in, you can go back and watch it when it uploads. Share it with people. I didn't come on to say nothing spectacular. I'm saying what I need to say. I'm also attempting to tell you other things, but you know that they didn't get here by themselves. There's a lot of things that's going on that people don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? The fake reality is breaking up. Yeah. And they're allowing their reality to come out and make you compliant. And a lot of you will be compliant. A lot of you will be very compliant. You know, you call it weak or whatever, but a lot of you will be. A lot of you be dead. A lot of you will make a hard choice, and it won't be hard at all because you're scared. There's a reason why I showed that video. I didn't upload it on here with the Catholic school and all the parents telling them, you know, it's about some weird stuff. And all the security guards in a Catholic school are Hindustani. Looking like police. It don't take a lot to groom people to succeed or to fail. Well, it's a month ago when this guy put this together. He's been doing this East Indian, or this Hindustani guy's been doing this for a minute. And regardless of what, the reality's here. It actually always have been, but everybody's been sheltered by the lie. Like Big Pontiac said. What you gonna do about it? Now I can upload some videos from certain countries and show you what they've been doing about it. Kind of a crackdown, but they're still doing it. America the Great. It's a gun behind every hedge and in every field of grass. You see the traitors working hard to take it from you. Y'all better snap them out of your little comfortable zones and get uncomfortable, because you're going to be uncomfortable real soon. I'll be one of them idiots. I'm going to stay here and I'll take 4 or 5 with me. What good is that going to do? Anyway, I'll be back in about exactly about 3:45, and we'll start. We'll get quite a bit of reading in. All right. And I just wanted to share that. Go over there and check out the whole video. It's about 43 minutes long. Pretty interesting. All right. Shout out. Let me get the hell up off of here. Rondo. Patricia Slade. Buenas noches. Good afternoon. Mikey Hill. Hey, Warren Jefferson. What do? Big Pontiacs. Greetings, beloved. Risen Lone Wolf. What's going on, fam? Me and him was having a good laugh a little earlier. Hey, Snoo. I tried calling you back, but that thing wasn't working. Yes, very powerful people, brother. Yes. Ears are ringing frequently now. Good. And it's not 5G. You don't move you don't move at 5G. 5G is like 8440. It's disruptive. It's like being radiation emittance. Like when I learned in the military, we used to wear the little EMF, that's what it is. It disrupts the cellular at the cellular level. So you got to tweak in yours at the 7.75, 7.88 hertz. That's what you've got to tweak into and make that louder. Phenomenally is physically. Like people always say, oh, the soul. I say the source. The soul is outside. The soul is everywhere, if you want to use that term. You're inside it. You've got to allow it to mature, masticize, get big, metastasize, and grow. That's the body of armor, not some bronze and shoes and silver legs and gold. No, those are elements. We're always talking about drinking pure fresh water. We didn't drink fresh water, people. Fresh stream water is not fresh water. They make us believe that. It's full of minerals, electrolytes, and salts. So how is it fresh? It's refreshing. They always say, what, Gatorade, the refreshing drink. What is it full of? Besides the FD yellow and red that give all them people cancer and everything, like my uncle, all right, which he passed, Lonnie Wright, Denver Broncos, Denver Nuggets, right? There's a balance to everything. Just like there's rivers inside of oceans and oceans inside of oceans. So that 5G, hon, you got to tweak that 7 to 8 hertz, which is real existence with Mother Earth. Okay? I just wanted to share that. Hey, Scott. Hey, please, peace, beloved. We move 8 hertz, but I can hear the 5G. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. You'll walk down the street. It don't even have to have transformers no more. And you can feel it. The thing is to build up your armor, your natural, spiritual, your source, your whatever you want to call it. Build it up to where there's no interference. You don't have to hear it. You know where it's at. But you don't have to hear it. You don't have to feel it. You become stronger than it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you already know. You already know, buddy. You already know. Without question. All right. I appreciate you guys taking the time to stop on over. We'll go check it out. All right. Y'all have a grand day, and I'll see y'all at 3:45. Let y'all get your highs and salutes out. Salutations. I don't like disrupting those. Oh. I couldn't help it. I got a box over there. Could y'all see that? Where my little shooting clothes are on top of my rifle bag? Oh, I know it was a shadow, but that's my rifle bags and stuff. But I had to sample. Dark chocolate is my favorite. But if you could throw a little caramel that's made, oh, you got to see how they make the caramel. Well, anyway, go and buy you some, brothers. Very good. Very good. Get that testosterone level up. Allow yourself to be the animal. Somebody says, well, Red, do you take any organs? Do you eat tongues and all that kind of stuff? And, animals? I says, no, but what I take that has all that in it, I take that. Yeah. I know the difference. I feel like a goddamn rhinoceros, a fucking elephant, a gorilla. I'm not an animal. I'm just saying how I feel. And I already felt strong as hell as it is. Something I asked for a long time was to be as strong as I possibly can. And I think it's more than the physical. All right. Anyway, I'll chat with you guys in a little bit.